Welcome back. If this is your first video, this is actually the last video of this series. In the previous video, we finished the demo. So the ending with Leander and Ace. I keep wanting to call him Ice, like I keep switching between the two. And today we will be going with the other three. We're here. And seeing what happens. I'm hoping this doesn't take too long because I do want to record another gameplay. So I'm hoping I have time for that. But, you know, I talk a lot. Okay, so let's follow Kuras first. Oh, I thought I had my water. Oh, I do. Okay. Hot on Kuras' heels, I squeeze out of the bar. Of everyone I've met, he seems to be the most likely to help me, and the least likely to murder me on a whim. You know, T, that's true. Well, that's definitely what he seems like. He said I could go to the clinic whenever I needed help. Time to see if he's a man of his word. I breathe a sigh of relief once I'm freed from the crowded bar. I guess there's just nothing back around here. Hearing me, Kuras turns my way. Cass? I take it the Amaryllis district is not to your liking. If nothing else, it's wildly different from the secluded temple where I spent most of my days. It's a bit overwhelming, but that's not why I stepped out. You do not require treatment after that fall, do you? I scowl at him, and he holds out his hands in a mollifying gesture. I apologize, Cass. Please continue. There you are. Someone cuts across me towards Kuras, stepping us both in the middle of the street. Even in the dim pink haze, that blankets everything. There's no mistaking her pressed white uniform. She's from the Cenobium. Though the flourishes on her clothing look a bit different from the others I've seen. I swiftly step back, making myself as inconspicuous as possible. Nervous onlookers sidestep Kuras and the cleric. They form an island of white in a sea of people teeming with color. Is this a bad time? Persistence is not always a virtue. That's what you said last time. Then take this, and be gone. Kuras reaches into his coat and produces 3 tiny glass vials, bound together with a thick leather cord, a silvery powder shimmering inside. He's a drug dealer. He gently flicks the vials, watching the contents swirl, and extends them to the cleric. This is it? She looks extremely unimpressed. Looks can be deceiving. He throws me a glance and a swift smile, but I'm too surprised to respond. Kuras was the first to warn me about the Cenobium. No one had anything good to say about it. And yet here he is, openly dealing with a Cenobium cleric in the Amaryllis district. I glance at Kuras and then to the cleric, who seems to notice me for the first time. Excuse me. A new patient of yours? Her eyes linger on me for a long, tense moment, but when Kuras steps between us, she sighs and disappears into the seething crowd. Cass? Is something amiss? What is that about? Or isn't that dangerous? I'm asked what that's about. Yeah, what was that all about? Lower your voice. It is of little consequence. That's all you have to say? After the earful you gave me about the Cenobium, you... Be calm. He holds one finger to his lips, which suddenly curl into a cat-like smile. For now, please join me on a short stroll. Kuras' golden eyes twinkle in the low light. He beckons me away from the main thoroughfare and down a side street filled with vendors hawking late-night snacks. What? Wait! Powerfully curious despite myself, I hurry after Kuras. Each of his long, graceful strides easily doubles mine. I catch a glimpse of his gleaming white coat as it disappears around the corner of the street. The moment I catch up, the enticing scents of freshly baked goods flood my nose. My stomach rumbles loudly. 1 honey pistachio cookie, please. Coming right up! Without breaking his swift pace, Kuras plucks the sticky confection out of the merchant's hand and offers it to me. What if I was allergic? The heavenly smell makes my stomach rumble again. I took a bite without hesitation. That's delicious. Kuras watches me with an indulgent smile, and I notice he hasn't gotten anything for himself. You're not hungry? Do not concern yourself with me. He stops mid-sentence, his eyes darting back the way we came. The hairs stick up on the back of my neck. I turn just enough to peek over my shoulder, hoping I didn't look too suspicious. Sure enough, it's the same cleric who waylaid us in the street, now looking very irritated. Oh. Well, disappointment can be a learning experience. Oh, what was in the vials? Glimmers of realization dawn over me as I stare up at him. What exactly was in those vials? Perhaps a potent alchemical catalyst, or some stale fish skin and The two do resemble one another, and it can be quite difficult to tell them apart. Is he serious? I chance another glance at the cleric, who's now trying to elbow her way between the food stalls. A few people move aside, but most don't even notice her efforts. The street is too packed with hungry patrons. Shall we? Without waiting for my response, Kuras glides swiftly into the crowd once more. You're messing with her. Is there a point to all this? Is there a point to all this running around? Other than for my personal amusement, I suppose I would like to show you the sights. He is serious, or seriously fucking with me. My disquiet must be showing, because... Disquiet? Because Kuras' smile softens. You have nothing to fear from her. He ducks into what looks like an abandoned doorway that opens into a small, covered market. The stalls here are packed with more spices than I knew existed. Taking a short breath makes me sneeze. Kuras slows his pace, occasionally pausing to examine the insistent hawkers' wares. Wait! He looks up from a display of livid red leaves. Interesting. Each as long as my forearm. You said I have nothing to fear, but everyone in Iridia seems wary of the cenobium. People fear the obvious trappings of power, wealth, force, or an ostentatious tower. For my part, I find such trappings disappointing. The cenobium once had great potential. They squandered it decades ago in the pursuit of trinkets, pleasure, and petty tyranny. Their narrow, prosaic interests have rendered them blind to all else that moves. I think that's the most I've ever heard Kuras say on any topic. You sound like you know them well. Kuras lets out a long, slow sigh. You miss little. You miss little, Cass. I didn't understand that, but I do now. Familiarity breeds contempt, and I am more familiar with the cenobium's cruel methods than I would like to be. Now I'm getting somewhere. Something beyond vague warnings or swift deflections. I decide to press the point while I have the chance. Familiar how? Kura stops in front of a pickled fruit display, and I nearly run into his back. He steps aside at the last moment and rests his arm gently but firmly on my waist. I tense, but he's careful to avoid my bandaged hands. Our pursuer refuses to take no for an answer. Again? I thought we'd lost her in the crowd. I crane my neck to look for the cleric, but Kura shakes his head. This way. The next street over is home to high-end brothels with steep stairways and shadowy passages, perfect for discreet trysts or losing a persistent tale. Pink curtains and painted facades sprawl around me like a giant colorful warren. It only takes a few more twists and turns down blind alleyways and narrow walkways before I'm completely turned around. Kuras, however, seems to be following some map in his mind. He takes each turn with swift confidence, guiding me with the occasional nudge. The passages between teetering buildings are so narrow that we have to slink through single file. Just a little further. His effortless grace is almost infuriating. It takes every ounce of concentration I have to avoid tripping over loose tiles, discarded clothes, and unidentifiable rubbish. Meanwhile, Kuras's long legs seem to float over every obstacle. His clothes are still pristine despite the soot-stained walls around us. How the hell does he do it? I'm still trying to puzzle it out when I realize how warm the alley has become. The tiny gap between Kuras and me radiates heat, like a brilliant midday sun at the peak of summer. With a start, I realize it's more than physical warmth. The sensation calms my nerves and quiets my mind, the closest thing I've ever felt to a comforting embrace. Okay, fall back, stay close to Kuras, reach for his hand. I'm real curious what would happen if I reached for his hand. So we're gonna do that. Instinct and longing overthrow reason. I watch, as if in slow motion, when my bandaged fingers reach for his. This is why I risked my life and limb, isn't it? Chasing a cure, a foolish hope of safety and warmth. Kuras turns just before I brush the hem of his sleeve, and common sense viciously reasserts itself. Cass? I want to leap back and bury my hands in my coat, but those golden eyes pierce through me, staking me to the ground. I'm so sorry, Shh. You've done nothing wrong. His long fingers clasp my outstretched palm. My imagination conjures wild images as his touch conjures wild images of his touch sparking a flame, rendering cotton and cursed flesh to ash. Instead, taking infinite care not to disturb my bandages, he lowers my hand. Follow me. We have nearly lost our pursuer. Ooh, new imagery. We haven't seen this. We emerge on the opposite side of the Amaryllis district. Warm light dances across the river from all directions. I approach the edge of the water, transfixed. It's incredible. Everybody holds beauty and horror in equal measure. Did you enjoy your impromptu tour? Relief escapes me in a tired laugh. After narrowly escaping death, playing keep away from a Cenobium cleric almost seems normal. It was a nice change of pace. He laughs too, a soft and pleasant chuckle completely at odds with his usual cold demeanor. Are you sure we've lost her? She will not deign to follow us this far. He sounded confident, though. I was starting to wonder if we'd have to make a full circle of the city to ditch her. A flicker of lamplight falls across the shore, softening his features. I should escort you back to your lodgings. It would be unwise to let you go alone. What about you? Are you staying at the Wetwick? Of course not. Then you're going back to your clinic alone. You just said that was a bad idea. He pauses, stares at me, then his expression relaxes into a gentle smile. Fear not, Cass. Only the most desperate or foolish would dare lay a hand on me. It sounds insane after 2 near-death soulless encounters, but part of me believes him. A few townsfolk huddle beneath street lamps and in doorways, desperate to be as close to safety as possible. Kudos, on the other hand, looks more relaxed than ever. He strolls along the river bank as if it were broad daylight. Even walking beside him makes me feel more secure, warmer inside and out. I seize that faint spark of hope and muster my courage. Did you mean it this morning, when you said I could come back to you for help? Every word. His mirth vanishes, replaced by calm focus. I don't know what to say to that. I have expected his offer to be a courtesy, an easy way to get me out the door. The fact that he meant it. Why do you ask? His eyes flicker briefly to my arm, the one that he miraculously reattached when he found me. I can almost imagine him counting the neat stitches. I wanted to be sure. I'm still figuring out who's trustworthy and who's trouble. I see. Iridia does tend to attract extreme individuals. Including you? Ah, Cass, I refuse to incriminate myself in your eyes. I can recognize a smooth deflection when I hear one. If he won't talk more about himself, maybe he'll tell me about someone else. I decide to ask about, and this is where we find out everybody else. Do I want to go through every single one? No. I don't want to go through every single one. So, I will just ask about my 2 faves. Why did you send me to Leander for help? Few know Iridia better than Leander. The company he keeps can be questionable, but I had confidence in him. Yeah, his adders were rough around the edges. Leander has always preferred the company of those like him. Survivors of Lowtown's harsh realities. You must have noticed how they flocked to him. I nod. Leander seemed to know every single person in the Wetwick. And that's a good thing? Leander's closest peers trust him with their lives. I would say that counts for something. Ace. Have you ever been out to see Ace at the Sea Spring? Once. Only once? Seems like a spring with miraculous powers would interest a doctor. A long silence follows. So long that I'm not sure Kudos heard me. I'm about to repeat myself when he finally speaks in a near whisper. Ace is the rare newcomer who has immediately proven himself worthy of respect. The Sea Spring is another matter. Hidden depths often contain unwelcome secrets. You could say that about anything around here. A fair point. Nonetheless, I have seen many purported wanderers, and the Sea Spring is unlike any other. Oh, wonders, my bad. The Sea Spring is unlike any other. Only time will tell what that means. I mean, these were kind of short. I might as well just go through all of them. How do you know Ver? Was I calling him Veer? We're going to call him Ver again. Kudos visibly stiffens, and I remember the venom in Ver's voice when he grabbed me. That fucking doctor. It looks like the feeling is mutual. Regrettably, Ver is one of my worst patients. How did you come across his path? He stole my room key. You are fortunate that he did nothing else. He is far deadlier than he seems. There is a reason for the collar and chain. Bear seemed suspicious to me. I hesitate, waiting for Kuras to elaborate, but he seems to find even the thought of Bear distasteful. Alright, Min. Sounds like you and Min know each other well. Kuras heaves a long, suffering sigh. I know them better than most, but not as well as I would like. Like you, Min is a recent arrival. Their time here has been particularly difficult. As much as I would like to help, he trails off. But I know exactly what he's talking about. Min doesn't seem like this sort to accept help. Do they always pick fight with adversaries twice their size? I've implored them not to. They rarely listen. With my curiosity sated for now, I fall silent. I wish Kuras had given me a little more to go on, but he's almost as tight-lipped about others as he is about himself. When we circle back to the Wetwick, the Amaryllis district seems even more raucous than before. Drunken patrons overflow into the wine-scented streets. How am I supposed to sleep with all this racket? I suggest the stiffest drink at the bar, alternatively, a ball of wax. Very funny. Even with how tired I am, I'm not sure I will get a wink of sleep. I'm about to say goodnight when someone staggers out of the wick and collides into me. I stumble back, heels teetering on the edge of the filthy gutter. Cass? The next thing I know, a pair of warm arms catch me around the waist. I find myself staring up at Kuras, pressed against his chest. His grasp loosens, but he doesn't quite let me go. Something stiffens in his gaze. His eyes fix on my face, and I feel myself growing hot all over at his intense scrutiny. What does he see in me? What's he looking for? Kuras? My apologies. Even after moving away, Kuras's warmth permeates my clothes. I quickly tug my cloak straight, trying to recollect my scattered thoughts. Good night, Cass. Thanks for everything today. Oh! Was that me? Wait a minute. Nope, that was me. Why did I added Cass in there. Okay. Good night. Thanks for everything today. You are most welcome. He turns and slips into the crowd, though I can pick out his pristine white coat with ease. A chilly gust howls down the street. When did it get so cold? That's so tea. That's such a cute scene. Okay, so yeah, there was just one more part. Continue. Do I want to continue? It's already been almost 30 minutes. I mean, I guess we might as well, right? Might as well just finish it. We'll do Vera next. Let me drink some water. I did not even drink water when I found it. Y'all better be drinking water. Especially in the northern hemisphere, it's getting hot. It is getting hot. Probably gonna put my hair up. Of all the people I've met, only one left me with more questions than answers. Vera knows more than he's letting on. I'm certain of it. Still, lingering doubt looms heavy over my decision. Can I really trust someone who lies so readily? Returning to the bar is slow work with a heavy crowd vying for drinks. When I find Bear, he's leaning against the counter, elbows propped on the edge and a wine glass raised to his lips. I catch myself staring, and judging by the looks I see thrown his way, I'm not the only one. Yet there's a clear ring around Ver no one else seems bold enough to cross. I didn't think you planned on sticking around. One ear perks up at the sound of my approach. A free drink's a free drink, even if it tastes like stale rat piss. Didn't you say you wouldn't be caught dead slumming it in this shithole? Bear takes a delicate sip from his glass, but his tail thrashes below the bar. You've caught me, red-handed. He peers at me over the rim of his glass. In the low light, his eyes glitter jewel bright with amusement. However will you punish me? I figured my company's punishment enough for you. Bear's lips twitch, and he smiles despite himself. I saw your little run-in with that glibbering imbecile. Oh, where'd I get glibbering? Gibbering? Gibbering? I've never heard this word. Quite the show. A muscle in my jaw flexes. Did you enjoy watching? I much prefer to be the active participant, but Ace intervened before I could. I can't tell if he's disappointed because he didn't get to save me, or simply because he missed out on a fight. Next time I get jumped, I'll be sure it happens near you. Ver laughs softly under his breath. He rests his glass on the counter with a sharp clink. I did warn you, didn't I? He moves closer, and I tense, my heart leaping in anticipation. But he only runs his hand up my arm to dust off the breeze, no doubt picked up from the floor, with a touch far gentler than I'd expected. About finding trouble. He murmurs under his breath while his fingers rub small circles into my shoulder. I whisper for fear that I whisper for fear of what my voice might do if I speak up. I can take care of myself. It comes out sharper than I'd intended. Ver lets me go with a sigh. So, did you come here for praise, or will a head pat suffice? What about real explanations instead of vague ramblings about moths and fire? Ver scuffs. You could buy me a drink before insulting me. After the way you pounced on me, if anyone owed a drink, it's me. If anyone's owed a drink, it's me. Bear falls so uncharacteristically quiet that for a moment I fear I've actually crossed a line. Then he props his chin on his wrist. I don't think you understand how things work around here. Information is a luxury, one you flung carelessly aside. Hmm? If you valued my words, you'd have taken me seriously. Valued? I barely understood what you meant. Whoops. I gave you free advice, warned you of the danger you were in, and still you went prancing off to the sea spring. Small wonder the Solus didn't tear you to ribbons. My first impulse was to argue, but what he said didn't sit well with me. How does he know what happened to me? How do you know where I went? What Solus? How do you know where I went? How do you know I left Iridia? I have a very sensitive nose, remember? Right. How could I forget? Do you normally greet people by shoving your nose into their laps like an over-eager dog? For a heartbeat, Bear's eyes grow wide and flat. Then he laughs under his breath. Only the ones I like. Bear trades his empty wine glass for the long-abandoned tumbler sweating on the counter beside him. Soft lumps of ice bob into the watery dregs of whiskey. The truth is, I despise most people. His eyes flicker over my shoulder and thin when Leander's boisterous laughter erupts from the other side of the bar. What about me? He looks me over with an agonizingly slow gaze. Finally, his lips quirk. You've piqued my curiosity. It's a start, or so I think, until his eyes slide away and he turns back toward the bar. I've got no idea how I'm supposed to hold a conversation, much less get answers. I knew Ver wouldn't make this easy for me, not when he clearly enjoys playing games. Are you going to tell me anything, or are you having too much fun? He lets out a short breath. This isn't a game to me. A lie. I'm close enough to catch the subtle bristling of his tail. If anyone's fooling around, it's you. People like us can't help but attract danger, yet you seek it out, and for what? Cheap thrills? I wasn't trying to get eaten by Soulless. There's something I'm looking for. And you think Min can help you? Leander? Are you really willing to risk your life for those idiots? What life? You've got no idea what I've gone through, or... Forget it. I start to rise, but something flicks against my ankle. Ver's tail. It's a little more than a brush, but enough to give me pause. His eyes, softer than before, search mine. They couldn't even begin to understand you, but I could. How do I know I can trust you? You don't. But I'm slightly less inclined to waste your time with empty flattery or insults than those do. Is what you desire really worth risking your life for? If you knew the kind of life I've lived, you wouldn't be asking. Ver considers the condensation on his glass for a long moment before speaking again. Will you trust me? Yes, for now. I'd say for now. For now. Good enough for me. Ver raises the tumbler to me, then knocks the dregs back. Once finished, he wipes his mouth on the back of his hand. Let's talk. Outside. We could both use the fresh air. With that, he slips away from the bar, leaving me to follow his long, trailing tail through the crowd. It's so cold the breeze cuts clean through my bandages, numbing my fingertips. But if the chill bothers Ver, he doesn't show it. He lops peacefully. I was having trouble reading that word. He lops purposefully down the street into an alley. This far from the wick, the bar's racket is little more than an indistinct hum. The street is silent in the dead of night. A vague sense of unease falls over me. You had questions. Ask. Ver's breath mists in the cold moonlight. His shadow stretches unnaturally long over the cobblestone street. Quickly. I've got a show to attend. Heavenly Ludist, as I'm sure I've mentioned. He looks down his nose at me, effortlessly imperious. For a heartbeat, I'm reminded of the stark want that gleamed in his eyes when he touched me. If he weren't so pretty, I'd walk away. But I need answers, and I can't think of a better way than starting with the people I met earlier. If Ver doesn't prove trustworthy, maybe one of them will. First, I ask about my faves first. What do you think about Leander? I don't. An unusually curt answer for Ver. I don't buy it. So you're not very fond of him? I wouldn't spit on Leander if he were on fire. Bear shudders. Oh no, he'd enjoy that far too much. To call Leander trash would be an insult to Myuu. He's a pathetic, slimy little man-child in big, shiny shoes. I've seen mutts rutting in gutters with more dignity. Damn, ate him up. I don't even know how to respond to that. Ate him up. I'd like to know more about Ace. You two seem close. He made an impression, Not surprising. He's strong, ruthless, easy on the eyes. Gives it almost as well as he takes it, even if he's awfully greedy. Big. Everywhere, really. Bit simple, but you know what they say about still waters. I don't. But I'm too distracted by the change that's come over Vare to ask. A coy smile plays at his lips as he winds a finger around the chain dangling from his collar. I thought you didn't like most people. Ace isn't most people. He's better, Our eyes meet, and Vare's tender expression curdles. He makes a tiny sound of distaste in the back of his throat. He's more trouble than he's worth. Dangerous, too. Stay far away from him and those red-eyed freaks if you value your safety or your sanity. Is that why you scolded me for going to the tea spring? I really don't think Ace is as bad as you're saying. You don't know him. Not like I do. The corner of his lip twitches. Kudos. I wanted to ask about I regret speaking as soon as I start. Vare's mentioned Kudos before, though not by name. His previous reaction was nasty, but I can't back down now. Not with Vare eyeing me suspiciously. About the doctor, Kudos. I tense, ready for a blowback, but Vare only shrugs. Bit of a bore if you ask me, but he's popular enough. You know, on account of his massive heart. He winks, as though the stress he placed on heart wasn't already suggestive. There's always a line wrapped around the block for his services. People can't seem to get enough of his special medicine. Probably because he doesn't charge anything. Vare's tail gives an impatient twitch. Or they're eager for a little mouth-to-mouth with their pelvic examination. What? Hold on. Or they're eager for a little mouth-to-mouth with their pelvic examinations, if you get what I mean. Okay, it took me a minute, but I get it. When I grimace, Vare grins wolfishly at me. There's clearly no point in asking him anything else about Kudos. Before I can ask my next question, Vare gives a frustrated growl. I haven't got all night for idle gossip. Isn't there someone more interesting we can talk about? Who? You? No. I'm more interested in learning about you. That catches me off guard. What about me? Nothing worth having comes easy or cheap in this world. You're clearly set on this thing you've spoken of. Your very reason for being. Yet have you considered that what might happen should oh my gosh. Yet have you considered what might happen should your struggles prove futile? If what you desire is beyond your grasp? I'll never stop looking. Then it's over for me. Yeah, no, I'd give up. I feel like that's it. I'm not a forever on nothing type of girly. This has to work, or it's over for me. You would give up then? Just like that? Like I said, I can't keep living like this. To cling so tenaciously to a slim hope, how fascinating. Now where were we? Oh, yes. You had 2 questions left. 2? But you haven't explained anything. Then I suggest you make your last questions count. So much for being helpful, but I suppose that's just how information works in this exhausting city. Leander told me that the Cenobium imprisons people. Did he mean you? Leander's a moaning fool with a throbbing victim complex. He loves to see himself as a savior, but the only difference between his cronies and the Cenobium stooges are the uniforms. I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what surprises me more, the bluntness with which he speaks, or the venom lacing his ordinarily silken voice. You're asking who, when you should be asking why, says the asshole counting my questions. The look he throws me is infuriatingly self-satisfied. Fine. Why were you imprisoned? For the same reason the Cenobium would snatch you away. I'm something special. Bear bows his head, gathering his hair into his hand and lifting it from his shoulders to bare his neck to me. See this collar? He cranes his neck, inviting me to lean closer. It looks remarkable, doesn't it? I'd assumed that Bear's collar was a personal touch. On closer glance, the thick, supple leather is molded to fit his neck snugly. But the large silver buckle seems easy enough to pry open. Well, I only have one option, touch the collar. I reach forward to touch the buckle. Vera's hand lashes out. Long, slender fingers wrap around my wrist and flex, exverting just enough pressure to hint at how easily exerting. I was just adding a V in there. I was like, that can't be okay. Anyway, exerting just enough pressure to hint at how easily he could snap my bones. Don't you know better than to touch without asking? Can I please? You didn't ask me first. He did grab me. You didn't ask first, so why should I? Our eyes meet, and he grins. Because I said so. That's not very fair. Fuck fairness. Life's not fair. His voice lowers to a pleased rumble. Patience, Gus. I'll tell you when and how you can touch me. Behave, or I'll make you bleed. He says it with a smile so sweet it hurts. Is that a threat or a promise? Why am I flirting with myself? Okay, let me get it together. That was funny. Bear doesn't answer me, but he lets go of my arm. I'm sorry, I got it. I smooth down my bandages. I can't lose my composure again. But now I'd fully expect Bear to walk away. But the fact that he's still here suggests he either forgot about his warning, or he was never counting my questions to begin with. Are you saying that's what'll happen if the Cenobium finds out I'm different? I'll be collared? Doubtful. They keep me around because I'm the best at what I do. And what exactly are you the best at? Killing. He says it carelessly, without hesitation. As long as I wear this collar, I'm made to hunt the Cenobium's dizzying array of enemies. Monsters, soulless, noisy dissidents who grow overbold. I've never seen dissidents either. Huh. I'm bound by their will until the day I die. That's awful. Bear murmurs in agreement. It is, isn't it? And that's all I have time for. I really must leave now. I'll be late. That's it? Why'd you bring me here if you weren't going to explain anything? He has the nerve to laugh. Isn't that obvious? I wanted to lure you out here alone so I could eat you. You're lying again. And you're asking far too many questions for someone with so much to hide. He glances pointedly at my hands, and I shove them deep into my cloak. Makes you think I'm hiding anything? Maybe the fact that you shoved your hands into your cloak the moment he's looking at him? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's the tough act, or the way you tense up at the slightest provocation. More likely it's the bandages. Not exactly subtle. I'll be going, unless you're willing to share some morsels with me. There's a biting edge to his playful tone. I can't tell you anything. Wrong. You can start with what you are. I take a step backward, but my back hits a wall as Ver follows me in lockstep. I don't know what that is. He rests his left hand on the wall beside my head, caging me in. Ver reaches for me. His fingers curl under my chin and lift, forcing me to meet his lidded gaze. Would you believe me if I said that the eyes are the windows to the soul? My eyelids twitch. Cliché, I know. But let me tell you a little secret. Ver leans in, until his lashes tickle my cheek and the warm, faintly spiced scent of his hair drowns out the stench of greasy cooking fires and chimney smoke. His eyes pin me down. There's nothing you can hide from me. His voice is so low, so supple, I could slip into it. You poor thing, led astray by those who trusted most. You caused so much suffering unknowingly. Bro, how do you actually know all of that? I know that pain. I can help you forget it all. My heart hammers. My lungs burn as though each breath is being stolen away. How could he possibly know? This must be some kind of trick. But for once, Ver isn't smiling. All that suffering has made your soul so irresistible. Thanks. The look on his face makes my blood run cold. I've seen it before. Traveling through the wastes, lanterns would occasionally reveal carcasses, picked clean by starving scavengers whose eyes shone in the dark with that same ravenous hunger. Ver takes a shuddering breath. You're trembling. What if you and I went somewhere quieter? Alone. So you can eat me! Oh! Wait! What? Resist him. Reach out to him. Bro, I'm reaching out to him. I just want to see what happens. Nothing, I'm assuming. Because nothing happens with everyone else. But... Ooh! Wait, why'd it get dark? Darkness laps at the edges of my vision, drowning all my pain and fear and leaving me adrift. A single thought claws free. I can't give up. As Vera bends over me, my hand seems to move on its own, weakly, crawling up his chest. It will all be over soon. Are you really gonna kill me? Wait, was that the goal? Even through the gauze, his skin feels white hot, an anchor for my rapidly dissolving mind. My fingers close around the chain dangling from his collar, and I yank. Little more than a gentle tug, but Vera's breath hitches. This? Yank this? Or yank this? I don't know. I twist my hand, pulling the chain tighter and tighter until the collar dimples his throat and his eyes darken with a baser hunger. Let me go. Vera's mouth snaps shut with a sharp clink of teeth. Ate him up! He shakes his head, as though to compose himself,
then gently loosens the knot of my fingers from his chain. Then when he finally speaks, his voice is soft and breathy. Shame. He eases back, and for what feels like the first time since he cornered me, I breathe. But my relief is short-lived. Nimble fingers trail down my jaw before tilting my chin up. His touch is feather-light and teasing, but my pulse still leaps. Bear's lips twitch into a smile, his white ringed pupils thinning with amusement. You're fun, Cass, even if you frequently forget your place. But if you ever call me a dog again, I'll break you. Understood? I mean, T. When I narrow my eyes at him, he laughs under his breath. As soon as Bear releases me, I sink against the alley wall to catch my breath. He looks down on me. Let's get one thing straight. I ate a monster 3 times your size for breakfast. 2, actually. The first tasted dreadful, like a fisherman's antique ashtray, but that's beside the point. You and I may be alike, but don't ever forget what I am, or what I do best. He smiles wide enough to flash his sharp white fangs, as much a warning as a smirk. The crash of shattering glass cuts through the air. I whip around to see a drunk stumble past the alley, leaving a trail of beer and broken glass in his wake. I glance back at Ver. But he's gone, of course. Oh, literally, that was the next line. But he's gone. Vanished into the dark. I'm left in the deserted alley, trembling with a delirious mixture of exhaustion and excitement. Fuck. Only once my racing heartbeat slows do I make my way back toward the wick, guided by the distant sounds of the Reversion. Honestly, Eve, that was funny. The most intimate scenes were actually these two, and I think it's really interesting. Okay. I'm repositioning myself. Okay, we're almost an hour already, but we literally only have one more to go. So I say we just do it. Min. I hope that doesn't take too long. It takes about an hour. It's gonna be over an hour too, because I think every scene is like 15 minutes, at least the way that I'm reading it. I can't let Min slip away so easily. They might be the most standoffish person I've met so far, but they're the only one who seems somewhat neutral on the Cenobium. My gut tells me they know more about the tower than they're letting on. By the time I make it out of the bar, Min's already halfway down the street. Drawing my cloak close to ward off the chill, I hurry after them. But at this hour, the Amaryllis district is full of carousers? I have never seen or heard this word. Interesting. Carousers? Carousers? While Min slips through the crowd with surprising agility, I struggle to keep pace. The edge of their cloak flutters as they round the corner. Determined to catch up, I take the same turn into a dim side street. But Min is nowhere to be seen. Didn't you learn your lesson out earlier? I nearly jump out of my skin, whirling to find Min behind me. They don't even look ruffled. They fold their arms, politely staring me down. Pointedly staring me down. I thought nearly getting eaten would have taught you that being out alone at night is dangerous. What about you? I'm not alone, am I? That's something I would say. It's a good thing I'm not alone then, isn't it? Min looks at me in blank confusion for a moment, before realization dawns. Are you always so persistent? I don't really know how to read them. They shift between aggressive and hesitant without warning. I have no idea how to tell which way they'll swing. But I can't help feeling a little thrill when pink seeps across their cheeks. I kind of have to be. It's how I stay alive. Min recovers their composure quickly, mouth shifting into a frown. They glance away, eyes scanning the street. Their gaze lingers on a particular building, another tavern, before they look back at me. You've been lucky so far, but it won't last. Nobody in this city is trustworthy. Not even you? Especially not me. I've met clams that open up more willingly than men. But even if they don't talk about themselves much, they must have opinions on my faves. Leander seems fond of you. He's an idiot, an obnoxious blowhard who can't shut up to save his life. Their words are harsh, but at complete odds with the flush creeping across their flush. What? With the flush creeping across their flushed face? That's a terrible sentence. Is that all? Min huffs. It seems to physically pain them to speak again. He does acceptable work. He pays on time, which is more than I can say for most, and the Adderstone look after Lowtown. If he was capable of being quiet for more than 10 seconds at a time, he'd be almost tolerable. Their tone grows almost fond, but then their brows draw together as they glare at me. But I'm not one of his adders. If he told you otherwise, he was talking out of his ass, as usual. He has work to offer, and sometimes I take it, that's all. Somehow, I doubt that, but Min seems disinclined to say more. Ace. You don't seem to like Ace. I don't like anyone, but especially not that bloodthirsty gangster. Ooh. The words tumble from their mouth before I can even finish my sentence. Did he do something to you? Beyond existing? No, but I'm not waiting around to get hurt first. That sea spring he runs, with all those smiling, red-eyed people, I suppose his one saving grace is that he hasn't forced anyone to drink from it. Yet. Monsters like him don't know or care about what they have. It makes me sick. Their voice echoes down the empty street, startling me. I blink, stare at them. You really don't like monsters, do you? Min fixes me with a flat gaze, their pale eyes like ships of ice. Every monster forced their way out of the shroud and into this world for some reason. I may not know Ace's reason, but to the vast majority of monsters, humans are food, playthings, or beneath notice. That may simply be their nature, but I don't have to like it. And I'm not going to risk my life in hopes that any one of them is different. A lot of humans fear or hate monsters, but there's something different about how Min talks about them. It sounds personal. If you're going to keep asking questions, ask about something else. You know what I just noticed? With Bear, I didn't even get to ask about Min. Right? Like, he didn't even let me ask. He just said I was asking too many questions. How funny. You're gonna ask about Kodas. You and Kodas seem to get along, though. The tense lines of Min's face soften. He's an exception. Few people are willing to help others. Fewer still when there's any risk involved. And of them, Kodas is unique. I have a feeling that Min doesn't smile often, but the curve of their lips, however slight, is unmistakable. They catch themselves. eyes glazing over with feigned indifference. He's not the worst. A decent doctor, even if he asks too many questions. But nothing in Iridia's free. He didn't take any payment from me. He rarely does. That just means he's paying down the debt elsewhere. Oh, I get it. And then we're gonna ask about Bear. How did you meet Bear? Min's face scrunches like they've just bitten into a rotten lemon. That perverse flea bag jumped me during fog fall, so I stabbed him and left him in the gutter where he belongs. My heart thuds hard in my chest. Their voice is icy with disgust. The night air feels warm by comparison. It's a shame it didn't stick. I suppose I'll just have to keep trying. I swallow hard, a sour feeling twisting in my stomach. I take it your opinion hasn't changed? My voice comes out a little shakier than I would like. They glance at me, and a flicker of something, guilt, flashes across their face before it's buried by irritation. He fucks with people for kicks. Every sentence out of his mouth is either crass innuendo or a conceited put-down. Yeah, it's conceited, okay. And whatever he's done is bad enough that the Cenobium has him on a leash. There are monsters living on every street. He's the only one who needs a muzzle before he's taken out for a walk. Belatedly, I close my mouth. Doors bang open at the end of the street. Light and laughter pour out of the tavern, followed by a group of giggling people in white uniforms. Cenobium students, having a night out in the town. Min hesitates, only for a moment before they start down the street after the students. Don't be suspicious. When I follow close on their heels, they grimace, speaking through gritted teeth. Why are you still following me? When I ask them about Ver, I notice something odd, besides their vehement dislike of him. While Min didn't exactly sound enthusiastic about the Cenobium, they were the first to speak of it with anything besides open animosity. Ahead of us, the students pile into another bar. Min ducks into the alley next to it. If nobody in this city is trustworthy, what about the Cenobium? The line of their narrow shoulders abruptly tenses. They lift their chin, giving me a wary look. You're a stubborn one, aren't you? Kuros must have warned you about the nature of Iridia's currency. Right. Information and secrets. I fidget, uncertain. I don't trust Min's unpredictable moods, and clearly there are things they aren't saying. Their eyes dip toward my hands, passing over the bandages like a razor. That steady gaze full of keen-edged possibility. I shiver, hastily shoving my hands into my pocket. They frown, but their eyes drift away from me to the window of the bar next to us. It's opaque, either frosted glass or caked in dust, but some of the warm light diffuses out into the alley. The Cenobium is a place of learning. If someone has questions that can't be answered anywhere else, the Cenobium might have the solution. Or at least, that's how it was, once upon a time. These days, its doors are closed to outsiders. That's about what I expected after being shooed off earlier. Just as I start to relax, they speak again. Whatever you're looking for there, the cost may be higher than you're willing to pay. The sheer hypocrisy of their words ticks me off. What gives you the right to talk when you're doing the same exact thing as me? What questions are you asking that only the Cenobium can answer? That's personal. So there is something Min's looking for at the Cenobium. I suppose that makes two of us. If they're following groups of Cenobium students around, they must not be having much luck either. Everyone else seems to fear or hate the Cenobium, but you don't. They flinch. Spurred by curiosity and lingering annoyance, I press forward. You must know something about them. Something you haven't told Leander or Kuras. But they're not letting you in, which means you're one of the outsiders. In the space between one breath and the next, Min closes the distance between us. Slender fingers grip the front of my shirt, and they slap me against the wall, and they slam me against the wall with shocking strength. The force of movement knocks their hood back, and I see hair fluttering around their face. I'm standing on tiptoe. Min's lifted me nearly clear off the ground with a single hand. The realization sends an electric tingle down my spine, but before I can begin to wonder what it's about, Min snarls in my face. You don't know what you're fucking talking about. The angry twist of their mouth draws my eyes down to the beauty spot at the corner of their lips. I can't stop staring at it. Girl falls in love with everybody. I know these are all like individual and it didn't all happen in one night, but I think it's funny. The marks incongruously. A lot of big words in this game. The marks incongruously delicate compared to their fiery gaze, their steel-bone grip, but then so is the rest of them. Neither do you. What's your fucking problem? Well, their problem is that I was kind of grilling them. So, I like to say, neither do you. Neither do you. We're practically strangers, so why are you acting like you know anything about me? Your line of questioning isn't exactly subtle, and it's not hard to guess that this is something to do with your hands. Everybody guessed it. How? Gee, I wonder if it's because you don't even wear gloves. Get some gloves. You think you can use me to get into the Cenobium? Don't be naive. I don't get angry easily. I can afford to when a moment of carelessness could be fatal, but when Min mentions my hands, my temper flares hot. Who says I'm the one who needs you? Realization strikes me like a thunderclap. You're not getting anywhere by yourself either, are you? But you can't make yourself ask for help. You're stuck, and it's your own fault. I brace myself, expecting Min to snap at me again. Instead, their eyes drop. Their brow furrows in frustration, but the twist of their mouth is miserable. Their voice trembles, almost imperceptibly, when they speak. I know. This city only cares about what you can give, or what it can take from you. Information, power, connections. If you're an outsider here, nobody will help you. Nobody will even try. You don't belong anywhere. My heart thuds in my chest for an entirely different reason now. They seem, suddenly, very small. Alone. Like me. Min jerks backwards, releasing me so abruptly that I nearly stumble. Maybe they realized how close we were. Maybe they said too much. Press forward. Let them go. Let's just press forward. Determined not to let this go, I press forward. Min takes another step back, but this time, they're the one with their back against the wall. Look, we both want something from the Cenobium, right? But neither of us is going to get anywhere on our own. We could help each other out. It's worth a shot, don't you think? Min sighs. They sound annoyed, but any hostility seems to have gone out of them. You've made it this far already. I'll grant you that. But if you're looking for help, you should look elsewhere. If you stay too close to me, you'll get hurt. Before I can think of what to say, the tavern doors bang open again. The Cenobium students spill back out, considerably drunker. Their ranks seem to have swelled with other barflies. The group floods back into town, towards the great tower, rising moonward. As I'm distracted by the commotion, Min draws their hood up and slips away from me. I catch Min's eyes for just a moment, then they're gone, vanishing into the crowd. That didn't take as long as I thought it was going to. But no, it took about as long, actually. Anyway, so now we have seen all of the endings, and thus concludes my gameplay of TOUCHSTARVED. Yay! Yay! Cass, you finished another game. You're on a roll. Why, thank you. Anyway, the next game I'm thinking will be Don't Eat the Cashier. I don't know if I said this already, but yeah, I'm thinking so. I already downloaded it, but I just, need to boot it up and play it. I don't think I'm going to record that like I wanted to tonight. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But I am saving up to buy Homicipher. I played the demo forever ago on my channel. I guess you could go watch those videos. They're kind of... ... Anyway. But I want to play the full game. I don't know anything about it. I've deliberately avoided gameplays, and I even actually forgot it existed until I saw some, meme about it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this game. Yeah, so I'm saving up to buy that too. Not this check, but maybe the next or the one after I should be able to buy it. But anyway, thank you for watching, and sleep well.